Hey race fans, it's race day top 5 with me, Frank 5. Yes, this is a different background. I'm on vacation. I didn't really need a vacation, but race car drivers did not get a vacation last night. Won a race in Kentucky. Best race in Kentucky I've ever seen. That's it. I could just cut off the video and stop there. I'm not going to do that. No. Won a race. Under the lights, actually, Kentucky. Mile and a half. The mile and a half package has been unbelievable for the racing this year. And the finish, I would have pulled out my hair after seeing that. With brothers racing for the win. Unbelievable racing. Number 1, Kurt Busch. 1 week after so close at Daytona when a lightning strike hit the track after Matt McCall called into pit road, ultimately taking the way from Kurt Busch, who the team and everybody was sending mean tweets. Fire Matt McCall. He does not deserve a job in Canadian racing. Got redemption last night, winning the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky presented by Walmart in a frantic finish with younger brother Kyle. Oh my goodness gracious. Beating those guys, beating Eric Jones, and beating the rest of the top 5, which was, I believe, Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin. What? What a race. I'm so happy for Kurt Busch. I mean, he's been so close so many times this year. He's won a lot of races in the past. This was his 31st win last night. You know, it was a big moment for Kurt Busch, and he won stage 1 at a really fast race car, and racing side by side with his brother, and like, after the race, he was like, yeah, baby, yeah. I mean, I was literally losing my voice, calling the finish, like, you know, from what I was seeing. It was unbelievable racing. Kurt Busch, on the last restart, a late race caution came out from Bubba Wallace, blowing a tire, allowing Kurt Busch on 4 fresh tires after everybody else pitted towards the end. Busch had the freshest tires, and he got one of the best restarts, if not the restart of the year, on the outside line. Thanks to Kentucky putting down the grip strip at the top with, tire dragging, the BJ1 stuff. He just literally used the top to ride on the outside of his younger brother and Eric Jones and just stormed by. And they were storing each other on the white flag lap. And in the middle of 3 and 4, I felt like Kyle had it. But Kurt Busch had to run off the top and took the win away from his brother. What a finish. And I can't say enough about Kurt Busch and Matt McCall. I think they could be championship contenders by the time we get to the playoffs. I think they're going to be in the hunt for a spot at Homestead. Number 2, Kyle Busch, obviously Kurt's younger brother, probably had the best car, if not the second best car, to the guy I'm going to talk about in a moment. Kyle obviously coming and looking for his 3rd win at Kentucky. Of course, the winner of this race at the inaugural event in 2011. Looked like Kyle Busch was going to give Kurt Busch a run for his money, and he was. Unfortunately, he just didn't have the grip off of turn 4 to be able to, get a side draft off of the corner and pass his brother. Kyle Busch, was a little bit frustrated at the end. He congratulated his brother. But the funny thing is, actually, Kyle Busch was supposed to be Kurt Busch's ride home. Well, because Kurt Busch stayed late because he won the race, Kyle, finishing second to his brother, he didn't give him a ride home, so Kurt had to find another way. So, a little bit of not so much brotherly love right there between the two Busch boys, but a heck of a finish between those guys. Number 3, Joey Logano, who probably had maybe the best car other than Kyle Busch, was dominating the last part of this final stage, pitted early and was able to get in front of Kyle Busch and Eric Jones, and it looked like he was going to drive away and win, but that caution came out for Bubba Wallace, and, Logano stayed down. He was the leader on the restart, but he got shuffled and finished 7th. That's how the racing is sometimes with these restarts, especially with this package. And at Kentucky, sometimes if you get stuck on the bottom, it's gonna be hard to pass unless if you ride the top with the grip strip. If we didn't have the grip strip back then, guys would have been going straight towards the wall. But Logano, because of the grip strip, didn't play in his favor. So he tried and gave it all he could. Number 4, Clint Bowyer, still trying to find first win of the season, trying to put behind all the bad luck. He put behind all the bad luck last night with a top 10 finish, but he had a little bit of controversy on the next to last restart of the night with William Byron. Apparently, Byron jumped the start after getting pushed from Eric Almirola, but NASCAR fans probably said, Clint Bowyer spun the tires, he probably should be the one getting the penalty. But the rule is if you beat the leader to the restart zone and out of the restart zone, that's a penalty. You're going to have to pit. So Byron had to pit and pay the consequence for it, and ultimately ended up getting a top 20 finish. I don't actually remember where he finished, but nobody, I think, can even remember where he finished. But Clint Bowyer, for a moment, when I was out front, I felt like he could break the streak and get back to victor's circle. But no, close, but no cigar for Clint Bowyer. The time's coming. I feel like he's going to get a win before the playoffs. I don't think he's going to make the playoffs. But if he goes back into a slump, then he might miss the playoffs. I don't know what's going to happen for him. And number 5, Kentucky. I applaud them for putting up the grip strip in the middle of turns 1 and 2 at the top group, and 3 and 4 because turn 3 is so treacherous. It's so flat. It's flatter than 1 and 2 because we got a little bit of banking. The racing last night, I wouldn't say it's the best performance as far as the mile and a halves go, But that was a great race overall for Kentucky Speedway. The finish obviously made it fun. The strategy was interesting between guys taking fuel and guys staying out for obviously stage points and everything, trying to get track position. Hopefully, if a caution comes out, can play into their favors. And just the restarts itself, there were 3 and 4 wide down the back straightaway. There were 3 and 4 wide and 3 and 4. There were 3 and 4 wide and even 5 wide on the front stretch. This track is wide enough for 5 wide, basically, especially off of 4. You could basically maybe put 6 cars under a blanket side by side. It was just unbelievable. I mean, not the best mile-and-a-half race. Obviously, I'd say Kansas and Chicago had a couple weeks ago, and the Coke 600 this year were the best mile-and-a-halves. But this was a pretty good race in Kentucky. For their standards, I think like they're heading in the right direction for racing here. Finally, Chase Elliott, up and down night, 4 weeks in a row of no top 10s, and now we make it 5. Just kind of had a struggle last night. We had a flat tire early on right front, fell a lap down, got our lap back, ran up to as high as 10th for the night, and ultimately ended up 15th. I mean, good comeback from the flat tire, but I want to get back to the top 10. Hopefully it happens next week at Loudon. Fingers crossed. So, up next, the Magic Mile. Who's going to hoist that lobster at the end and say, "Lobster, baby"? Will it be Kevin Harvick, who has yet to win this year and is defending winner of last year's race in a pretty awesome battle with Kyle Busch? Will Kyle Busch make up for the one that got away last night? Or can somebody new outside the playoffs or in the playoffs but towards the cut line steal away a victory from one of the dominant cars in Gibbs and Penske this season? We'll find out. So subscribe, like, congrats to the older brother, the outlaw, Kurt Busch, and I'll see you next week.